God blessed us this year with a plentiful harvest. Our colony will be able to provide ye with enough meat, cereal, and other foodstuffs.
Fair Arto, I have a proposition for thee. I have gathered foodstuffs, materials, craftsmen, and men-at-arms in my fortress in preparation for an expedition to Mecca. My allies are the Venetians, the Ismailis, the Knights Templar, and the Franks from the Ultra-Jourdain. A mighty army which no man could resist. Shortly, a fleet of many vessels will set sail for the Gulf of Aqaba, with the task of seizing the black stone venerated by the Muslims. Imagine Saladin begging me to return these relics to him. I will grant thee a fiefdom on the coast of the Gulf, so that thou mayest control the shipping lanes of the Red Sea. Come on, you carpenters! Put some elbow grease into building these ships. Let our companions, the bakers and the butchers, fill them with provisions. We need enough to sustain our expeditions along the Arabian coast. We must confront the infidel with a valiant sword and a filled stomach.
On the tomb of the great Sultan, what incredible news! Reynald and his accomplices, Gerard of Riedfort and the Doge of Venice, are preparing to launch a shameless attack on the great Mecca itself. The wise Maimonide had already revealed to us that the tomb of Abraham, father of the sons of Israel, founder of the Jewish nation, had fallen into the hands of the ambitious Reynald. If they seized the sacred black stone as well, those vile brigands will have the two most venerated relics of the Muslim and Jewish faiths in their profane hands. But fortunately, the dastardly plans of Reynald came upon one great obstacle. Saladin came in person to prevent this sacrilegious act and laid siege to Kerak. All of the defending soldiers jumped to action to prepare the defenses of their fortress. Arto, my friend, Here art thou in the fox's lair, caught in the same trap as he. Take care. Make sure that thou art not bitten when he runs scared.
Fuming with anger. That perfidious Saladin has seized Moab by use of great deception. He is now at the very gates of the fortress. Make haste. Build rough casts with the frameworks of the ships. This way! Hurry up! Bring assistance to our carpenters who are building the rough casts. Fetch bolts, skins, and planks of timber. Saladin and his men watched with great interest at the rapid progress of Karak's defenders in the construction of the roughcasts.
The siege was turning out to be a far sight more difficult than they had first suspected. Decidedly, the Christians always kept a few surprises up their sleeves. I don't know if they will ever get used to it. But the Saracens did not delay. Kerak soon became the target of a hail of Greek fire. The Franks at first were plunged into great disarray and squealed like sheep on the spit. But they quickly counterattacked.
These damn scoundrels are sending all the fire in hell upon us! Holy Christ's sake, where are our siege machines? Destroy their catapults immediately! Gadzooks, it's the devil himself disguised as Saladin. Oh, my cargo of wood will have to be used to build siege machines. Gather projectiles and prepare to strike back. We're going to roast those stinking little devils' arses.
Come, come. The master blacksmiths must make haste. They must forge the parts needed for the working of the catapults.
Kerak the Proud was being taught a mighty lesson in humility. Hordes of war engines were launching salvo after salvo of the renowned Greek fire, which had even the most brave of knights quaking in their armor. Reynald, by use of his catapult, managed to temporarily hamper the bombardment by the enemy troops. Yet one must admit that this fine invention of the West's master engineers was completely useless against the Saracen mangonels. The great Saladin's sappers, widely celebrated throughout the East, were thus able to fill the ditches surrounding Kerak and begin to gnaw away at the fortress's walls in peace. These sappers were perhaps vile infidels and stinking demons according to Reynald, but there was no one better qualified to topple a Christian wall or two. Manifestly, there would be no salvation for Kerak without outside assistance. The maddening crowd of settlers, already fearing the onset of a torturous famine, forced Reynald to make an urgent call for reinforcement. To do this, a huge bonfire needed to be lit at the top of the castle keep. Seeing this signal from Jerusalem, distant by a good 50 miles, King Baldwin would be aware of the danger and send his royal armies to the aid of the besieged fortress. Saladin must have been amused by the fact that to be delivered from the Greek fire that was raining down on them, the Christians were lighting even more fires.
Alert! The postern has been seriously damaged! The chains holding up the drawbridge are broken, and the counterweight's embedded in the ground!
I fear that Baldwin has not understood my signal. We are obliged to send him a messenger. The fearless Arthur will be an excellent candidate. He must leave this night. However, to get him out, we must at first rebuild the postern.
Holy Mary, what a terrible sight. I was there when the chains at the postern broke. The hoist unreeled at great speed. And the guard underneath was cut into mincemeat.
Reynald esteemed the Christian camp to be in great peril, and that he shouldn't solely rely on Baldwin's reinforcements. As an astute observer of the Muslim world, he was only too aware of the tensions that existed within Saladin's troops. Reynald therefore decided to undermine Saladin's army from within, exploiting the rivalries between the different chiefs. In fact, he even enjoyed excellent relations with some of them. It was therefore extremely important to get a message to Reynald's Arab allies. But who could be entrusted with such a delicate mission? Having already had the chance to witness the sharpness of your calculating minds, I suspect that ye, who have been so good as to follow my little tale so attentively, have undoubtedly come to the same conclusion as these noble lords have. Well, yes, they decided that your humble servant would be the man for the job. I therefore had to leave the fortress in the company of Arto and slip silently into the ranks of Saladin's troops. What foolishness! Once again I was obliged to tie my fate to that of this clumsy Frank. But after all, as the great prophet says, nothing will come to pass unless it is God's wish. And I must admit that it was certainly in my interests.